Mickey Mantle made baseball history with every swing of his bat. The Yankee slugger laid to rest today is being remembered not just as a prolific long ball hitter, but as a simple down-to-earth guy who touched millions of lives.
I'm one of those people, and the same goes for my brother Paul, but even more so because as a sportscaster in Dallas for 10 years, he was able to become friends with the Mick, his childhood idol. Here now is my brother Paul Crane reporting from Mantle's funeral.
More than 1,500 people waited in a sweltering Texas heat, some even spending the night to ensure they'd get in to say goodbye to Mickey Mantle, sharing many of the emotions felt by those who knew him best.
He was the perfect teammate, not just because he won all the ball games for us, but because he cared for us all, and we loved him the same way.
Well, I didn't know Gary and Ruth. I just heard about those guys. I knew Mickey Mantle, so I can honestly claim the fact that I think Mickey Mantle was the greatest.
The pallbearers encompassed Mantle's entire career, including Whitey Ford and Yogi Berra.
Mickey Mantle was the kind of ball player, the kind of person that people were attracted to. And so while we grieve, we also honor Mickey as we remember his life and the special ways and memories that touched us all.
In the last year, Mickey Mantle, always so hard on himself, finally came to accept and appreciate that distinction between a role model and a hero. The first, he often was not. The second, he always will be. And in the end, people got it.
3 days before Mickey's death, he was still playing jokes on the nurses, acting like he couldn't remember his name, things like that. Always a sense of humor.
Mickey Mantle certainly would have enjoyed being here today because there was great memories about his career and great memories and stories about Mickey Mantle the man, who certainly handled his last few months of life with incredible dignity and grace. The legend, if at all possible, actually grew. John?
Paul, we've already mentioned how you grew to know Mickey Mantle, your childhood idol. What kind of remembrances do you have tonight?
Oh, there's so many, as you know. I grew up not only being one of the many kids in America that wore the number 7 all through Little League and high school and even college days, and wore it on my license plate in 4 states through my adult life with my initials and the number 7. But I got to know him working in Dallas. I'm so privileged to have not only been able to get to meet my idol, but get to know him pretty well.
I want to conjure up some events that you and I will never forget. For example, 1968, September, Yankee Stadium, you and I and the rest of the family in the right field bleachers, and Mickey Mantle hit one of his last home runs ever in Yankee Stadium right over our heads. You remember that?
I think that's what did it for me. Sure, as I look up, I can still see the ball going just over my hand, like 8-10 feet. I couldn't jump that high. Wilt Chamberlain couldn't either. I would have loved to have gotten it. But I think at that moment, Mickey Mantle was my guy.
And how about that ballet recital on Mickey Mantle Day in 1969? Well, you know. Our sister's ballet recital kept us
Now I
going.
have 2 daughters who dance, and we talk about that all the time, that on that June day in 1969, all we got to hear when we were forced to go to our sister's ballet recital, the entire drive, we had the radio on the Yankee station. It was a 9-minute standing ovation. We never heard a word, just applause.
I'll never forget it. I suppose our family story is like millions of other families whose lives have been touched by Mickey Mantle.
Right, an entire generation lost a hero over the weekend, but I think his memory will live and even grow if his foundation can do what it wants to, and that's bring added awareness to organ donation. The legend can be even more of a hero in the years ahead.
Paul, it's so great to see you. Thanks for being with us, and I'll give you a call after the newscast.
Love you, Johnny.
Love you, too. And the Yankee tradition runs so deep in our family, it was hard for me to even call him Paul. For the last 30 years, I've been calling my brother Bino for the Bambino, Babe Ruth, because he hit so many home runs when we were playing wiffle ball when we were kids.
Lots of little boys with stories tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for that, John.